Hi, I'm Leonid, and I'm in a very unique place. This place is so striking and unique, and very few people know about it. Very few people have been to it. This is the ancient Himalayan kingdom of Zanskar. It's just a lost world that takes you back so far into the past. Life here has hardly changed compared to what it was 500 years ago. I came here, deep into the Himalayas in northern India, to see how this Tibetan Buddhist kingdom lives now in the 21st century, to visit the coolest, most unique, amazing places in this kingdom. Most importantly, to meet the royal family. Yes, they still have the royal family here. We will meet them and find out how the kings and the prince of the Buddhist kingdom in the Himalayas live in the 21st century. Alright, let's get this expedition started. It's gonna be amazing. Believe me, this is a different world. It's a different reality that you definitely haven't seen. What did she say? She said that when they rented the car, the first night she got in, they also thought like us, that they had turned off something wrong too, and she said she never got in after that. Our expedition began just the way we like it to, with setbacks. The car just wouldn't start. And apparently, the person we rented it from didn't warn us about all the surprises. Now we just need to put the old battery pack in place.
The tank is full. Here, drinking here.
Anyway, we're climbing up. At the top there must be caves with ancient paintings or murals. Tibetans have this amazing skill of building the most important things in the most remote places. So here's the first cave. Oh dude! Saya! Out of the blue, here it is! There are passages to the next room. Here, there are even rocks with mantras here. Hey, these were definitely meditation caves. They're carved in the rock. There's lots of them, one above the other. Several levels, just little rooms. Get the camera away from my face. So here's the thing. Basically, along the road is difficult and dangerous. There are signs with poems everywhere along the road. There are warnings and teachings written in rhyme about how to drive a car properly, cautiously, carefully. It's in English, interestingly enough. Time is money, but life is priceless.
You don't survive.
What does the next one say? You're in a war zone. Drive slowly. Hey, where's the poetry gone? I like that it's not a standard tour of working class suburbs. Next stop is the tyre shop. If you want to know how people live in other countries and see more of my travels, subscribe to this channel. The more subscribers, the more amazing places I can show you. We arrived late at night at a very large monastery.
Oh, here's a nice triple room, look.
In an attempt to sleep here, it's still unclear who to ask, but we found a dorm for the children of monks. They're gonna start throwing stones at us.
So, is there a homestay?
No.
No? Okay.
We ended up spending the night near the monastery. There's this dorm. Like, it's called a hotel, but it looks totally like a dorm. And we were so exhausted yesterday that I didn't even film us settling in there. But the sunrise, it's very beautiful. It's just these mountains. It's like they're made of gold. It smells so good here. Pancakes. Freshly made pancakes behind this door. So we decided to get cocky. They're not here?
There's only oil for pancakes.
How are you?
Thank you. How are you?
Very good.
Very
Very nice place.
Breakfast.
So this is the place to eat for all the monks?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
wow.
at 8 o'clock they come in to eat?
Yeah.
Okay, so what they usually eat?
Idli and chapati and another.
Chapati, rice?
Yeah.
What is this?
This egg. This one.
Okay, that's it.
This is eggs,
Eggs. Yeah.
like burji.
Yeah. Bujji.
Oh,
Yeah.
looks nice.
Yeah.
This is the ultimate traditional Tibetan dish. It's roasted barley flour, and they pour tea and butter over it to make a dough. I've shown it many times before in my videos about Tibet. They just eat this raw dough. Yeah, we'll try it again later. The monks are coming. Julie, the monks for breakfast, and we'll join them for breakfast. Yeah, there's no way to turn it down.
Roasted in oil. Roasted in oil.
Damn, we're taking the last of it, so hopefully all the monks had enough.
I hope so too.
Of course, I wouldn't eat that in New York.
I think it's better than Nutella waffles.
No, my point is that the atmosphere, I mean, the situation itself adds to the flavour of it, like 400%. Yeah, they're delicious. True, chapatis are delicious. Burj, this is the best burj I've had in India. Homemade omelette, homemade chapatis, it's just unbelievable. And tea always rounds it up. By the way, the tea is not very good. It was not. It's not the best we've had, but it's still nice to have it. The living conditions here are so harsh, the climate is so harsh, and there's so little fertile soil, no water, it's cold, but it's fantastic. You turn around and there's a huge palace, or maybe it's an old monastery building, I don't know. The problem is, no one here can explain anything. No one knows proper English either, and overall, few people know any history. I even asked a monk, tell me about the monastery. He said, I have to ask the Lama. But it looks just incredible. All the settlements here are situated just like this, in a small narrow cleft between very tall mountains. Look at these mountains, all these views and sights at once, all of them layered on top of each other. Unbelievable. But it's all Abandoned, absolutely abandoned. They've built a new monastery building and that's it. And these old ones are crumbling. It's just falling apart. Peso literally spent half of his book, The Ant's Gold, describing how he travelled through Ladakh and Zanskar and mapped out ancient drawings of ancient people, petroglyphs. And it feels like there's an incredible number of them in this region. It's like children's drawings, where you need to guess what animal the child has drawn. And Peso said the locals explained to him every time after a hunt, the hunters would come and draw goats on the rocks. And it was a kind of thank you to the gods for allowing to kill the prey. We climbed to the first pass, 15,880 feet, and just beyond it, the valley of Zanskar really begins.
Jale.
So guys, what do you say? I think that we came to the perfect village to learn about local life. The only place we'd probably be able to sleep here is in a regular local house. That's what we need.
It looks like a cow shed.
It looks like a fox shed. There's a fox on it. What are you talking about?
All right.
Can I see? Yeah. Thank you. Oh, warm. It's warm here. It's so good.
Have a seat.
Thank you.
So I should tell you that our dreams of a thukpa, or thentuk, shattered. It's probably food for the rich, for those who can afford meat.
Can you explain me, please, what language do you speak here? Ladakhi or Tibetan?
Yeah, Ladakhi.
So how different is from Tibetan?
Not the difference, but script is same. But language is a little bit different.
Little bit, just a little bit.
This also Ladakhi script is also same.
Yes.
But language is.
But this language is Ladakhi in this book.
Yeah,
so in school you learn Ladakhi,
Ladakhi.
not Tibetan.
Not Tibetan.
Okay.
That's right. The kids at school are learning 3 completely different languages here. They each have completely different writing systems. They're not similar at all. Hindi, Tibetan, English. It's unbelievable.
I've heard about the old tradition when one woman has several husbands, like 2 husbands or 3 husbands, like old brothers. So yeah.
Before,
It was before.
Yeah, before time, but this time no like that.
No anymore.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And before time, no money, no. They can't build own house. That reason, I think.
Okay. Economical.
Yeah.
Just because of
Yeah.
I see. Wow. Very interesting. Yeah. When you first get electricity in this village, electricity and cellular phones?
Yeah, 2 years.
2 years ago?
Yeah.
And before no electricity?
No electricity, only solar power. Solar,
okay.
solar light.
Yeah.
And phone is just 2022 ending October, November.
Oh, so just less than 1 year?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Before solar panels, so did you use like what, candles?
Yeah.
No.
Candles. Also,
Before. Before time, we use kerosene lamp.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's check out the bathroom. Awesome. This is the bathroom. It's a classic outhouse. Okay guys, this is fantastic. Look. Next to this modern toilet, I found a traditional Ladakh toilet. I'm shocked. Basically, the idea is the same, just a hole in the floor, but there is sand next to it and a shovel. You just go, you do your thing, then you put sand on top, and that's it. You do this every time, and day after day, month after month, this layer cake accumulates. And once a year, or once a season, it's all shoveled out and used as fertilizer in the field. Yeah, very fascinating. Now look, you can see in the hole that it's all filled in, like covered with this dirt. Here's the shovel. Another shovel. Fascinating. I'll take a walk around the village. Maybe I'll find something exciting to see. But so far, it all looks very abandoned, dilapidated, and derelict. It's actually very hard to tell if a house is inhabited or not. On the roofs, they dry branches for the stove. The head of the family says it can reach -40 in the winter here.
Oh, yeah. So you were saying about the animals. So you
yes.
What kind of animals you have?
Yeah, all the people have domestic animals. They rear animals, just like sheep, goats, and cows. And we are stocking all this grass for them, for the animals. During the winter, we have to, feed them almost for 5 or 6 months. Yes.
All these things you use to warm yourself in winter?
Oh yes, these are the winter fuel, Yes.
Because you don't have gas, you don't have anything else?
Oh yeah, we use gas also these days.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
Just to
we
heat.
bring from Padam, Yeah, gas, yeah.
So
just for cooking, yeah.
I've read that you had before a tradition of like one woman having several husbands.
Oh yes.
Can you tell me about this?
Yes, it was called a polyandry marriage system. Yeah, in olden days it was. Yeah, in our own Zanla there were. I saw just 1, 2 or 3 families have. Yeah, now there are not.
Do you read any mantras while working?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. During winter, we have the prayer, mantras, chanting mantras, like that.
There was a very interesting tradition here, as well as in the whole Tibetan region, the tradition of polyandry, which means having multiple husbands. When one girl would marry several men at once, here it's usually not just a few different men. They're all brothers. These are all brothers from the same family, and if they had children, they were considered common. They were the children of the brothers. The reasons for this were mainly economic. When the son marries, he was to be given a piece of land by his family, and when each of the brothers married, each should be given a piece of land. The land, the family's fortune, is divided, and there is very little land here, as you can see. Mostly lifeless mountains and very small fertile valleys. It was kept within one family, and all the brothers remained within the same family, and so did their wife. So that's that. We reached the village of Zangla, and we found a royal palace here. It's as royal as a palace in a village kingdom can be. But anyway, we stayed the night here.
What is your name? Tashilandam. Oh, okay.
Tashilandam is the queen of Zangla, the land that once was a little kingdom, and we're here at her palace, in a pretty big house.
Ой, дайте фотку.
We've been travelling for 2 days on an incredibly beautiful road. The second day, we drove through a fantastic gorge. It was fabulous. To get to the Zanskar region. Zanskar was formerly another local kingdom, and we have now arrived in the village of Zangala. And it's a small village, but it used to be a kingdom too. The royal family still lives here, and that's why we came here, to meet them and try to get a glimpse of what it even means to be a noble royalty here in the Himalayas in the 21st century. How does it feel, Alexander, to be served by the king of Zanskar? Oh, that's amazing. Breakfast with the royal family. So it's quite fascinating that the Indian influence here apparently is still very strong after all, because wherever we come, here, even in the royal family, it's the same thing for breakfast. They serve us flatbread. Here's cabbage stew. Everything is very Indian, but I asked if they had sampa, traditional Tibetan food, and thankfully they did. It's flour, roasted barley flour, and they just put it in, pour salted butter tea over it, knead it into the dough, and then they just eat that dough. But here in Ladakh, in Zanskar, it's not as common for some reason, because of the Indian influence, I guess. But we're gonna have a Tibetan breakfast. Let's try it. Bon appetit! This is a traditional Ladakh toilet. Just a hole in the floor. Yeah, that's the restroom of a royal family in a very large palace. Keeping traditions alive is great, of course, but I believe everyone should live in comfort. This village, Zangla, used to be an important place in the Kingdom of Zanskar, but there is not much left of the kingdom now. As you can see, now the whole kingdom is this small village, with at most 200 people living here. Right in the middle of the village's dilapidated homes, there are 2 royal houses, and above them, on a very large rock, there is a very ancient royal palace. And there is not much left of the royal family either. They live a completely ordinary life, the same food, the same work, and even the home facilities they have are very basic, just like any other villagers. Right now, the Queen of Zanskar is behind me, tending to the vegetable garden. What is particularly interesting and very unusual for these places is that the prince's bride is from Hungary.
And you had a Tibetan marriage or ceremony?
Still
or European?
Yeah. Still to be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are planning to have it next summer. And we would like to have one in Hungary and one here. But here it's also different because in Leh the traditions are different. In Zanskar the traditions are again different. Here it's like sometimes 8 days long marriage, where the whole village is invited. So it's
other than your relative, every household from this village is invited to the wedding.
they don't have a word for I love you. Like,
They don't have a word.
Okay, so how do they express it?
We kind of have to describe like.
I think like Csoma is some kind of like a newly created like my love. If I translate the line, I have love on you. So there's nothing like like I love you, some kind of. So there's no specific kind of word for I love you in Slovakia.
You can kind of put together nice meanings like Nyanyingi Tok Tok, which is my
piece of heart.
Piece of heart, or Nyamices Karmabo, which means like the stars
of my life.
But there's still no action in the meaning, like I love you, like the verb.
So I wouldn't be able to hug him like in public, and even if I'm saying like Jasper in the beginning, they were just laughing like, you know, this because it's such a weird thing to like express any kind of love or affection to the other person.
We have a friend, they've been married for like so many years, and he said like he had never seen his wife naked.
I mean, like in the light.
In the light,
in the dark, they know, of course, but
make love in the dark. Our part is like a 3-story, and there's a big creek. You see, like these windows are not in a good shape, and it's all been supported with some wood. So, my father's dream was to restore it somehow. So, he couldn't do it. So, I wanted to do it. Just. Fulfilling his dreams.
So this is gonna be a museum room. Could you please explain a little bit how far back you can track your family?
I think we can track back like since the dynasty was started. The first king who built the palace in Zangla, and the brother, he built a palace in Padum as well. So Mangal Day, because every male member of the family has Day at their name, because Mangal Day was the one who started the dynasty. So my name is Tanzil Dazan Namgyal Day, because Detsuk Gon was the founder of Zanskar and everything.
So what century was it?
It was 973, in the 10th century.
And how old is the house?
This is like a 16th century.
16th
century.
No way.
And
I'm sorry, can you once again just briefly explain the situation with all your mothers? Because I couldn't record it.
So my father, he got married. He had 4 wives, and all were together staying at the same time. So not divorced, nothing, because now what happens is like you get divorced and then you get married. But with him, like it happens like he had like 4 wives at the same time. But my first mom, she died during the child labor, and the queen of Mulbek, she didn't have any kids. So, and then my grandfather and my grandmother had their own choice. So he had 2 wives from Zangla village, and my mom was the youngest, I think around 20 or 30 years old difference between their age. Big age difference.
So were they living all in one house?
Sometimes they were living in one house, sometimes like it's all different houses. So mostly sometimes like in the winter, sometimes they all come together in one house as well. So there was nothing like a issue, no jealousy, nothing among each other. For me, like I was born here, I was raised by my Mulbek mom, so I got all the loves from every mother. And I consider I always call like all the mothers like Mother Amale to everyone. I didn't make any difference between this mother and that mother, my real mom or the stepmom or anything. So I consider everyone as my own mother.
And how was it being raised as a prince? Was it like a better life or a worse life?
No, sometimes like when it comes to the traditional things and about choosing a life partner or something, there's always a pressure of of being like you have to choose like a royal blood or something. But now situation is changing. I mean, like it's not like you are a prince or you have a power or something. Maybe that time the situation might be different, but now it's just like everything is. It's a 21st century, so you should have the right to choose your own partner and everything.
So what do you do now?
I'm working as a vegan chef and also managing some events.
And is there any legend about the creation of humans? Like, I mean, pre-Buddhist legends or whatever?
For me, I don't know.
No?
I cannot recall anything about that one.
There is one interesting though, the Garuda, and like that's a very Zanskar specific thing. Like
I think that's the thing about Zanskar. I don't know if it's something related to, because they say like the rivers in the mountains are like, you know, this Zangla river. It's kind of in a snake shape, and Garuda is like like a bird. It attacks the snake. So the above the snake is the Garuda, because if you see the mountain of the palace on which it's built, it's in the shape of a Garuda. Yeah, like a peak or the claw. And above the Garuda is the palace. Above the palace is the king, and above the palace is the protector on the top. So it has always been said. So we call like the palace is built on the mountain in the shape of Garuda.
I'm gonna go up to the old palace now to show you what's inside. And there's a very, very surprising thing in there. So here, on the upper level, there's the room of a man from Hungary. From Hungary. A man named Alexander Csoma de Koros. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. All in all, this is an amazing person. I really love characters like this, who have absolutely crazy stories associated with them. Well, let's head into the room and take a look. Anyway, it's a 10 by 10 foot room, and this Alexander lived here for a while. So they arranged this strange memorial for him here. And why? Because at some point, this guy, in Hungary, comes up with an idea. That Hungarians came from somewhere in Central Asia or from the Himalayan region in general, and that the Hungarian language has roots in the Tibetan language, and that they are related, and he wanted to find that connection between the languages. This man, in fact, became the founder of Tibetology, the study of both the Tibetan language and the Tibetan culture in general. He was the first to compile a Tibetan English dictionary. That is, in fact, the first dictionary of the Tibetan language in history was compiled by him. And thanks to the fact that he tried to find a connection between Hungarian and Tibetan, in fact, because of this madman here, the local prince now has a Hungarian wife. On our way to the monastery, we encountered a whole busload of Tibetan grannies. They must have been... This is where the road ends and the footpath begins. And they've apparently been on pilgrimage to the monastery. They came back, sat down on the grass to drink tea and rest. Yeah, we could certainly use some rest right now. Because we'll have to walk for a couple of hours to the monastery in the blazing sun. Just look at this beauty, it's unbelievable. The huge monastery just hangs from the rock. It just hangs from the rock. Here we go. I'm like a monk. I got up at 6:30 in the morning to film the monastery at dawn and go to puja. Here are the monks' houses. They look different. Some of them even look new, a satellite dish. Basically, everyone lives on this rock. The houses are embedded in it, sealed into it. Here are the bathrooms, and interestingly enough, there are quite a few of them. Well, that is, it's not one for the whole monastery, but apparently for every few houses. I also like that every bathroom here is sure to have a little window, naturally, with an incredible view. Obviously, there is no heating, no hot water, no electricity other than solar panels. That's why there are piles of dry roots lying on every house, to provide at least some sort of heat and warmth. I also really like that the monks grow flowers outside most of the houses or on the roofs. They grow flowers. Flowers here, flowers there, flowers there again. Let's take a walk around the monastery. As soon as you walk in here, you're just instantly transported into a completely different reality. You just instantly get swallowed, sucked into another dimension, another world. The whole monastery is built like this, from the bottom up. It's just sliding down the cliff. The very fact that in the 15th century people built this, somehow brought all these materials up here, it blows my mind. And it's all so far away from any civilization. And there's like no particular landmarks here, or any particular activity. It's a monastery. It's quiet here. There's no one around. Everyone is busy doing their own thing, somewhere. And the main place in the monastery is this temple. It's strictly forbidden to film there, unfortunately, so I won't be cocky. Especially since you've already seen what a Buddhist puja ceremony looks like. But the main spot is right here. It's a very large cave, a very large dome-shaped cave. The whole monastery was built around this cave. Once upon a time, like in the 14th to 15th century, very important, big, famous Buddhist teachers meditated in this huge cave, including Tsongkhapa. Tsongkhapa is a reformer of Buddhism, the founder of the Gelug school of Buddhism, eventually in the 15th century. A follower of Tsongkhapa, his disciple, decided to establish a monastery here, so he built this. He apparently built the temple first, right here in the cave, and then the monastery around it. And here, it's still there. It's been around for 6 centuries. Guys, 6 centuries. It's a very large cave. I don't know if you can see it in the video. It's very large. Just a giant dome. But unfortunately, there's this mess. They store twigs here. It's probably for the winter, because in a month, if not sooner, it's going to snow. The roads will be blocked, and that's it. There's no way to get in. There are some old houses there. Perhaps these are some of the first houses that the monks inhabited. Well, this has been me, Leonid Paskovsky, tuning in from the ancient Tibetan Kingdom of Zanskar in the Himalayas. Over the course of the video, you noticed how speechless I was, unable to describe all I found, all I saw. It's just like a time machine, a lost world that's been very little affected by the modern age and globalization. And actually, it's amazing that all this exists in India, out of the blue, in India. It's so unlike India. so unlike anything else. But of course, you can see that civilization is advancing after all. They have built roads, they have electricity. Young people are leaving Zanskar, and because of that, of course, things are certainly going to change around here pretty quickly, pretty soon. But that's life. Things change. Nothing lasts forever. But you still have a chance to see it all for yourself. To experience this culture, this reality, in this kingdom, while it's still there. Let me know in the comments what you think, what your impressions are. Let's discuss. It's a unique find. It's an incredibly unique find. And now I'm going home. Bye.